Okay, if you can remember back to our last exciting episode, where we were all surprised to find a stained glass window as beautiful as this one at the end of a hallway in a hotel in Riverside, you're going to be really surprised by the one I'm going to show you in the Tequila Bar. Let's go. Here we are at the Tequila Bar. Let's get inside. Did you hear that? I think I heard a pony. There he is. He's the Welsh cob pony that lives at my house, but I swear he or one of his British ancestors could have been the model for the horse in our tequila bar. Is this not a beautiful window? It tells the story of a knight in shining armor in England 900 years ago, and he is preparing to go off to Jerusalem for what they called the Crusades. The knight is dressed in a hood of woven metal, called chainmail. He is wearing full body armor, articulated at the joints, from chest all the way down to his toes. We don't see a sword, but the staff he holds in his hand appears to be tipped like a bayonet. The banner is a flag of white with a red cross. In Britain, it is known as St. George's Cross. Historians say this flag was first adopted by King Richard I of England during the Third Crusade to reclaim Jerusalem 900 years ago. No camouflage for this crusader. Not only is his armor shiny, but his horse is decked out in a brilliant crimson red saddle blanket, trimmed with baby blue scalloped edges. The horse wears a scalloped crimson breast collar trimmed in purple, and the reins are a broad belt of sky blue, decorated with 7 crosses in large, bright red circles. From the shape of the horse's head and ears, his curly mane, and the feathers on his fetlocks, he could be a Welsh cob. Now, to my eye, it's the shield that dominates this scene. It is the most intense of royal purple cobalt blue. This piece of glass is thicker, darker, and brighter than all the other glass in the windows, and it actually curves out to give it its prominence. The shield itself is dominated by the golden lion, fiercely intimidating. In contrast, the artist chose the palest green glass for the castle. It couldn't be less colorful. In a similar move, he made the knight's face the same color of gray as his armor. The drawbridge to the castle is open. The knight and his trusty steed are about to leave on their crusade. The knight is committed to something more important than himself, his king and his country. What a story this tells. 1,000 years after the era of knights ended, you can still see actual jousting at medieval times dinner theater. When you play chess, you hold the knight and the castle in your hand. And if you've seen a Monty Python movie, you might think knights are silly. You believe there was an old rock and roll song about knights in white satin? It wasn't really about knights. There's even a knight in shining armor at Legoland, my cute nieces. And since so many of our guests think the Mission Inn looks like a castle, it's totally appropriate that we should have our own knight in shining armor. So it's a beautiful piece of art, and I wish I could tell you where it came from and how old it is and who the artist was. Stained glass windows are seldom signed. Maybe one of you can shed some light on this for us. Whoever the artist was, he does take us back to that time in history when chivalry was not dead, and knights in shining armor valued loyalty to their king and country, and felt a moral obligation to rescue damsels and anybody else who was in distress. I like to think about those times. I also like that it reminds me of our little pony at home. Isn't he cute? I'm Barbara Burns. Thanks for watching.